everyone. So, my name is Tempest, and I'm a ciberilusionist, which means I combine magic and science to create illusions. Think of it as magic for the 21st century. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the art and craft of creating contemporary illusions. Let me talk about several of the elements that go into creating magic. And the first of these elements is technology. Now, while magic might be thought to owe much to superstition, in fact, the opposite is the case. You probably know the dictum of Arthur C. Clarke that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That is true, and magicians have known this for over 2,000 years. Around 150 BC, Hero of Alexandria described how the temples of ancient Greece were filled with magic. Altars burst into flames, doors mysteriously opened, musical instruments played as if touched by the gods. Now, Hero, a mathematician, also explained how these miracles were accomplished. They were all magic tricks, applications of the little-known sciences of hydraulics, pneumatics, and chemistry. But to the temple visitors, this was magic. Now, magic as an entertainment form has long separated itself from the gods and superstition, but it has always maintained its relationship with science. The moment magicians hear about a new development in science, whether it's physics, optics, chemistry, even psychology, we figure out ways to use it in our magic, keeping one step ahead of the public and following Arthur C. Clarke's dictum in disguising science as magic. So in a way, magicians are the original early adapters of technology. There is a second important element in magic: psychology. Magicians are often thought of as being masters of sleight of hand. The quickness of the hand deceives the eye. But that is not true. Magic does not depend on deceiving the eye. It depends on deceiving the brain. Magicians are not only technologists, they're also psychologists. Magicians know that given the opportunity, your brain can be lazy. The brain looks for patterns in the environment. The brain recognizes elements and assumes that the things it sees now are exactly the same as the things it has seen before. Edward de Bono described the brain as a pattern matching machine. The magician exploits this, setting up familiar patterns so that the brain jumps to the wrong conclusions. The magician designs tricks so that everything about them seems familiar. The props seem ordinary, the magician's actions above suspicions, even the words we use seem straightforward and unambiguous. But this veneer of ordinariness covers many deceptions. So the eye sees everything, but the brain is being fooled. Now let me show you a card trick to show you what I mean. And to make sure that I don't use any sleight of hand, let's use some very big cards. And I want you all to please play along. I prepared for you 5 virtual playing cards. And I want you all to remember one of these 5 cards. Now remember the suit and remember the value of your chosen card. You got one? Don't forget your card. We're going to mix up the cards, just like this. All right. Okay, still got your card. And somehow, magically, my video froze. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, that's a bummer. Let me see. People, I'm very sorry. That's lame, man. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a risk and do a little bit of reconnection. And let's do this one more time. So bear with me. Bad magician. Okay. Hello, everyone. Let's try this one more time. Okay, I have for you 5 virtual playing cards. I want you all to remember one of these 5 cards, suit and value. Same cards as before. We're going to mix them up. And I'm going to remove one of the 5 cards. How about, take the one over here. And if I was right, then your card is now gone. Did that work? Yeah. Well, don't worry about it. My card disappeared too. Now, this trick is called the Princess Cartridge, and it was devised in 1903 by magician Henry Ardenne. It refers to something which psychologists today call change blindness. The interesting thing is that this trick was invented over 100 years ago. Magicians were exploring a weakness in our ability to make sense of information long before the phenomenon was being discovered by science. Now, there's a third important element to magic, and I think one that differentiates it from almost any other form of art, and that's secrecy. The motto of the magic circle is indocilis privata loci, not apt to disclose secrets. Magicians very rarely share their findings with the wider world, and there's a very good reason for this. If you know the secret to a trick, it's very unlikely to fool you. Now, I myself, I believe in a wider definition of magic. I'm not interested in just fooling my audience. I want them to have a magical experience, the kind that Samuel Taylor Coleridge spoke of when talking about invoking a temporary suspension of disbelief. Instead of working alone and keeping things secrets, I like to collaborate with others. Software designers, writers, composers, artists. It's a diverse group of people, but we have a common goal, to give our audience a magical experience. And the result is always something far better and more interesting than any one person could have achieved. The animated version of the Princess Cartridge wouldn't have been possible without the input of some very creative people. Together we took a 100-year-old psychological trick and turned it into an illusion that can now be enjoyed in a large theater, on the internet, on television, or any other form of media. So when devising illusions for the 21st century, sometimes secrecy is better replaced by collaboration. Now, about 5 years ago, I started an exercise in openness and inclusiveness by reaching out into the open source software community to create new digital tools for magic, tools that could eventually be shared with other artists, to start them off further along in the process and to get them to the poetry faster. I'd like to share with you something that came out of these collaborations. It's an augmented reality projection tracking and mapping system, a digital storytelling tool. And maybe we can bring down the lights just a little bit. Magic. So my creative process always begins with an empty canvas, which is equally frightening and exciting. Frightening because of the endless possibilities. Exciting for the same reasons. But once I commit my first stroke, the adventure begins. I put that there to relax me a little bit in front of this huge audience. Terribly sorry, I forgot the floor. Hold on. Try that again. Hello. Wake up. Hi. Come on. Okay. Come on. Let's give him something to play, please. Okay. this. Yeah. Okay. Want to try this? Okay. Oh, thank you. Hey. I think that's enough. Okay. Okay. You okay? Try something else. Want to go over here? Come on. Yeah, go for it. It's okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. Can we bring back the lights? Thank you. All right, let's see if my computer works again. In the spirit of a truly open source magician, I'd like to give you a peek behind the curtain on how this system actually works. So in front of me is a small video projector, and mounted on top is a high-speed camera. Now the high-speed camera has an infrared passband filter, which enables it to see little infrared tracking markers which are embedded in the corner of my canvas. About 120 times every second, we track the location of the canvas and the location of myself. So I'm completely free to move the canvas around and have the video image projected on. Now, when Stickman was created, interacting with the drawing was not possible. Computers were not what they are now, and in that sense, it was not only magical, but it offered a vision of the future where gestural sensing and projection would be ubiquitous and intelligent. Now, more about this later. I would like to talk for a moment about the collaborative design of illusions. In the spirit of open source, I have created a piece of software which enables multiple videos to be synchronized across multiple screens on stage. Now, from my professional life, I knew that such solutions are technically demanding, expensive, very difficult to set up, and I thought that other performers, media students, shop owners would have the same problem. So we developed this software solution. But sometimes people find it very difficult to imagine how a piece of software can be used until they have seen an example of it at work. Now, to encourage them to try it, I developed the following piece, which I thought would be a catalyst for creativity and show the software off to its best advantage. And quickly see if this is going to work. Okay, and this is the moment in my program where I apologize for the second time. So, I don't know if you've been asked to turn off your Wi-Fi. Now would be an excellent moment to do so, because my thing was some Wi-Fi as well. Let me try to set this up one more time. Give it one more shot, or otherwise we're gonna abandon it. Let me see. All right, so I have 3 iPods here, and I'm gonna use them to tell you a little bit about my favorite subject. Can we switch to this camera? And that is deception. One of my favorite magicians is Carl Germain. He had this wonderful trick where a rose bush would bloom right in front of your eyes. But it was his production of a butterfly that was the most beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, the creation of life.
Now, when asked about deception, he said this.
Magic is the only honest profession. A magician promises to deceive you, and he does.
Now, I like to think of myself as an honest magician. I use a lot of tricks, which means that sometimes I have to lie to you. Now, I feel bad about that, but people lie every day. Hold on.
Hey, where are you?
I'm stuck in traffic. I'll be there soon. You've all done it.
I'll be ready in just a minute, darling.
It's just what I've always wanted.
You look great.
Deception. It's a fundamental part of life. Now, polls show that men tell twice as many lies as women, assuming the women they ask told the truth. We deceive to gain advantage and to hide our weaknesses. The Chinese general Sun Tzu said that all war was based on deception. Oscar Wilde said the same thing of romance. Now, some people deceive for money. Let's play a game. 3 cards, 3 chances.
1 5 will get you 10, 10 will get you 20. Now, where's the lady? Where is the queen?
This one? Sorry, you lose. Well, I didn't deceive you. You deceived yourself. Self-deception. That's when we convince ourselves that a lie is a truth. Now, sometimes it's hard to tell the two apart. Compulsive gamblers are experts in self-deception. They believe they can win. They forget the times they lose. Our brain is very good at forgetting. Bad experiences are quickly forgotten. Bad experiences quickly disappear. Which is why in this vast and lonely cosmos, we are so wonderfully optimistic. Our self-deception becomes a positive illusion. Why movies are able to take us onto extraordinary adventures. Why we believe Romeo when he says he loves Juliet. And why single notes of music, when played together, become a sonata and conjure up meaning. That's Clair de Lune. Its composer Claude Debussy said that art was the greatest deception of all. Art is a deception that creates real emotion, a lie that creates a truth. And when you give yourself over to that deception, it becomes magic. Thank you. I began this talk by mentioning science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke, who said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. The work of France's greatest magician, Jean-Robert Houdin, is an excellent example of this. Robert Houdin was in many ways an amateur scientist, and not only used technology in his magic, but in his offstage life as well. In the 1850s, he had installed electric lighting, electronic gates, even a burglar alarm in his home, long before they were made available to the general public. He's also credited for inventing one of the first incandescent light bulbs. If you saw the recent movie Hugo, the automaton there was inspired by Robert Houdin's work. Robert Houdin created incredible automatons that surpassed anything other mechanics has managed to build. But that wasn't just because he was a knowledgeable mechanic. It was because he was a magician. Although the automatons seemed to be entirely mechanical in nature, they often depended on trickery to make them work. And that brings me to my final point. Sometimes a well-performed piece of magic often looks like advanced technology. So what Robert Houdin was doing was creating illusions that allowed his audience to visualize future technologies. Magic is a unique tool for pre-visualizing the future. By that I mean is that the illusion created is so convincing that the experience is almost indistinguishable from reality. In time, the advances in technology will turn the illusion into a reality, just as Robert Houdin's pseudo-automaton foreshadowed the advance in robotics, and I believe Stickman would be possible using today's computer, whether it's an iPad, a Kinect, or something else. But for now, the illusion can give us a very good idea of what that future technology might accomplish. Now, the performances of magicians are already filled with visions of the future. Magicians show their audiences what it would be like to fly, read minds, teleport, appear and disappear. So magicians are prototyping the future every day. Now, I'd like to finish with something I developed recently, a topical piece if you like. You probably all heard of Google's Project Glass. It's new technology. You look through them and the world you see is augmented with data. Names of places, monuments, buildings, maybe one day even the names of the people that pass us on the street. So I brought my own illusion glasses. Thank you, Google, for not accepting me in the developers program. When you look through them, you get a glimpse into the mind of a cyber illusionist. And let me fire this up, and I have to do a little bit of repatching because I did some not so smart improvisation before. All right, so this is, this should be working. All right, here they are. So let me show you what they do. All we need is a playing card. Okay, select a card, any card will do. How about, let's give it a quick cut first. How about this card? And to make sure we recognize it when we see it again, and to keep me happy. All right, let's mark the card and let's put it somewhere in the deck. How about, sorry guys, how about right in the middle here? Okay, and let me start up the system.
System ready. Acquiring image.
For those of you who don't play cards, the deck of cards is made up of 4 different suits. There's hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades. Cards are amongst the oldest of symbols and have been interpreted in many different ways. Each of the 4 suits represents one of the 4 seasons. So we have spring, summer, fall, and winter.
My favorite season is winter.
Oh, mine too. Like magic, winter involves visual wonder, drastic change, and a delicate balance between its physical states. In each of the 4 suits, there is a total of 13 cards.
Each card represents a phase of the 13 lunar cycles.
So over here we have low tides, and then over here we have high tides, and in the middle, of course, we have the moon.
The moon is one of the most potent symbols of magic.
There are 2 colors in a deck of cards. There's the color red and the color black, representing the constant change from day to night.
Marco, I did not know you could do that.
Oh, thank you. In a complete deck of cards, there's a total of 52 cards, representing the 52 weeks of the year.
If you total all the spots on a deck of cards, the result is 365.
365, the number of days between each of our birthdays. Let's make a wish.
Don't tell, or it won't come true.
As a matter of fact, it was on my 6th birthday that I received my first deck of cards. And ever since that day, I've traveled around the world, entertaining boys and girls, men and women, husbands and wives, even kings and queens.
And who are these?
Ah, mischief makers, watch. Hey, wake up.
Whoa!
Are you ready?
Ready.
Let me see what you got.
Presenting my pogo stick.
Careful.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But today, I'm performing for a different kind of audience. Performing for you.
Signed card detected.
Now, sometimes people ask me to do this kind of work. Do you just work from 9 to 5? Of course not. Magic is a 24/7 job. I don't literally mean 24 hours, 7 days a week. 24/7 would be a little bit of an exaggeration. But it does take practice. Now, some people will say, well, magic, that must be the work of some evil, supernatural force. Well, to this, I just say no, no. Okay, in German it's 9-9. Magic isn't really that intense. I have to warn you though, if you ever play with somebody who deals cards like this, don't play for money.
Why not? That's a very good hand. The odds of getting it are 4,165 to 1.
That's true, but I think my hand is better. I guess we beat the odds.
I think you got your birthday wish.
And that leaves me with the last and most important card of all. And unlike anything else you've just seen, virtual or not, this is without a question
Signed
the
card
real
detected.
thing. Bye-bye. All right, thank you. So, magic has a lot to offer for the creative mind. Some scientists are picking up on that and are reviving interest for the psychology of deception as applied by illusionists. But in a way, I think that is looking backwards, or perhaps scientifically inwards. For me, the most progress is going to be made by magic embracing other arts and crafts and creating new magical experiences. The skills that magicians have in understanding the behavior of their audience, problem solving, creating interactive illusions, and pre-visualizing future technologies can be put to uses that I think will gain magic a firmer place amongst our artistic peers. Thank you very much. Thank you.